Welcome to PrivacyCast Season 3. In this podcast series, we bring together some of the most brilliant minds in the field of privacy and security to discuss the issues that will leave you wondering, oh boy, what else am I missing in the industry of privacy? From data breaches to concerns of online privacy, all of it gets covered here at PrivacyCast. We explore developments, insights that matter most to you in the industry. Join us for a thought provoking informative session in the world of data privacy today. I'm your host, and I am also the host of PrivacyCast. By the way, from this is the third season that I'm doing. A little about myself. My name is Akarsh Singh. I am also the founder of Saru and Saru Academy. I'm a privacy consultant by profession. My job most of the time is to build privacy programs or build privacy careers. I think those are two things that I am very involved with in around organizations. Today, we are going to discuss a topic that's very touchy to all of us because we ourselves are an Indian privacy startup. So the Indian startup ecosystem going global. And in cybersecurity and privacy, DSCI sits at the heart of this initiative. And we have none other than Mr. Vinayak Godse today, the CEO of Data Security Council of India, the DSCI. He's a renowned expert in the field of cybersecurity and data protection and leads DSCI in the mission to make the world a cyber safe, secure, and trusted place to live for all of us. Vinayak, sir, thank you for joining us today. Can you please tell our listeners a bit about yourself and your work at DSCI?
Thank you, Akash, to get me in this interaction. So I lead Data Security Council of India, which is a industry body and think tank for cybersecurity and privacy in the country. On one hand, we work with the government on strategy policy matters related to cybersecurity and privacy. Other hand, we work with industry to prepare them better for security and privacy challenges. And we also believe that cybersecurity and privacy throws a lot of interesting business opportunity as well. And that's why we creating ecosystem to help startups and businesses in creating their business possibilities in security and privacy area.
Sir, I think welcome to the session, right? And I want to ask you something, very important that we have. So basically, if you look at the current ecosystem, right, the current SMB space of India, the small medium business of India, where we have a lot of startups going on, right? Every other house, people say that in Bangalore, if you go to Starbucks, every second table is pitching to an investor, right? So, and when there are so many pitches happening in Gurgaon, Noida, around you, what do you think are these basic problems of security in the current startup ecosystem?
See, one thing is the idea, right? And you're trying to bring the idea as early as possible. So the MVPs that you bring together, and suddenly then you get some traction. You try to build the solution. You try to get more clients. Your application and your idea. It's the development process. Probably security may not get integrated very well. So that's also create a challenge towards the end. And then overall, the way you deploy and the way you manage security and operating cycle of your products, basically. So that could be another area. And we see challenges in all of these three: for design, development, and operations. And challenges can come from very different domains of security, which we'll talk in the course of time.
Also, sir, I think one more thing, why are we saying this touchy topic as, Indian startup ecosystem, DSCI kind of sits at the center of it, especially, when I also see that my friends' startups are also DSCI, startups, right? Basically, DSCI onboards them, incubates them. So can you also talk a bit about that program? If people listening to us are maybe founders, if they want to,
This is a kind of a national program with support of Government of India. We are called as a national COE for technology and product entrepreneurship in cybersecurity and privacy area. So what we do the last 5-6 years of time, I think the entire startup ecosystem in cybersecurity is going quite well. And we thought about creating this intervention which could really incubate the startup, accelerate the existing startup, and also try to instigate them to work in different areas of new upcoming areas and nationally critical areas in cybersecurity space. And that's what this effort trying to do together. And we also believe cybersecurity also needs a lot of research intervention. That's why we closely work with researchers in the community, research community all across the IITs and key academic institutions in the country.
Yeah. And sir, would you also like to talk about maybe, let's say, today there is a startup out there who kind of can contribute to India's, around infrastructure security, they are critical for it. So if they, let's say, get onboarded with you at DSCI, if there is a program, I know, there's an evaluation program. So you can just talk a bit about it. Maybe people listening to this can
So
better choose.
we are seeing the quite a good pipeline is getting created for cybersecurity, and the opportunities thrown in cybersecurity is instigating many people to start their own, right? And this initiative and overall DSA and ASCOM work is also because most of the membership of DSA is also in a user industry, bank and telecom, manufacturing, power sector, oil energy, and they so we also are in position to connect them with the market very well, and we are creating a lot of effort in the market, creating investment ecosystem as well. But for making you to the part of this program, the product should be innovative. So it should solve the existing and critical problem.
So basically, the product, yeah.
Yeah.
So the main thought process I feel is that the product should be innovative, and it gets evaluated by the DSI, and then a startup can actually come in and kind of place themselves, and then DSI promotes them all together as they are important and investor, and whatever mentorship they get. First step is that initiative that people are taking should be okay. So that's great, and I hope people hearing us get to know this a lot. Also, I don't know. I have this question. I don't know. This is always a fanboy moment. As I tell you, right? I've been seeing you for so long, and I know it's always a privilege to talk to you. So also, I know the largest summit in India of security is AISS, right? So would you also like to kind of tell us, a bit about summit, and when should we all be thinking about it? Maybe it is incoming, and
So
if
this
somebody wants to.
happens in month of December in Delhi. It's the largest industry event in cybersecurity in the country. Uh, Brings together people from government, defense, law enforcement industry, that to technology industry and user industry as well. And this event is more like a dialogue on cybersecurity. So we are sometimes 200 plus speakers come together and discuss about security. Many people come to see those speakers be part of the discussion, and also we provide opportunity for startups and companies to demonstrate their innovative capabilities as well. So this event had been now recognized as the largest event on security in the country, and with somebody interested in cybersecurity privacy area, this could be your destination for the December this year.
Yeah, no, no, sir. I think we ourselves as Saro are super excited, and we're waiting for December because we ourselves, and especially in the ecosystem, even my counterparts, my competitors, we also talk a lot, and then AISS kind of keeps coming back to our picture. So I feel we all are looking forward to it, and we're super excited for that. And thank you for managing such a big organization, such a big event, right? Especially for everybody in the globe who wants to come to India, look at some clients. I think this is a great place where we all can showcase. So also moving on, I see that I remember that I was sitting at my client's office in Bangalore, I think 2-3 months back, and they said, Akarsh, do you know there is a road show going on of DSCI in Bangalore? So would you also like to talk a bit about what are these road shows about,
We
sir?
believe that security is a deep tech. I mean, deep tech security is still complex compared to other deep tech areas, basically, and then also that's why it requires a lot of research intervention. So what we are trying to do is there are a researcher community, and we keep track of almost 300 plus professors working in cybersecurity and publishing their papers, doing research. And this particular roadshow was to bring the researcher community, academic researcher community, and industry together actually. So where we get exposed to research work happening, and more importantly, the professors doing research in cybersecurity, they get exposed to industry requirement and problem statement. And we are trying to, we already have fund in DSCI where industry problem, you come to us, we will invest from DSCI to fund that research to professor, and then we work together to productize that research. The productization of research is one of the key agenda in that roadshow.
Right, sir. I think talking to you more, I am also learning more about DSCI, and I know why. I think one of the things that I keep asking people around my clients, my people is why, right? If something is happening, why is it happening? I think probably coming from you, why is a great answer for all of us to be more present, be there in other road shows to learn more what type of research is going on in deep tech. Sir, I'm moving on. I think another question that keeps coming to my mind. So So, also moving on and asking you something that is, I myself am a trainer in privacy in industry, and I see a lot of trainings that IAPP does, DSCI does, PECB does, all these biggies, QACA does, right? Uh, there is one certification that keeps coming to my mind, right? That is the DCPLA, that the DCPLA, the DSCI is DCPLA. Would you like to enlighten us why, right? Why should somebody
Yeah.
do this, and why? Yeah.
Yeah, so the subject of privacy, right? So, in most of time, it's more like a complex legal philosophical discussion, right? And when you need to take the privacy for implementation and build a program, privacy program in the organization ecosystem, probably DCPLA scores well in that. So the course that we have devised for the DSS certified lead privacy assessor, right, is to really take the privacy discussions for implementation. Those who are implementing privacy, this is a really good course for them to understand because we teach privacy through 9 use case studies basically. We have devised the case study how different industry vertical and industry scenarios, basically how the privacy at work. And we try to teach them, and we also try to teach from the perspective of the assessor as well. So it also prepares you for any such kind of evaluation assessment that may happen because privacy is at the end of the day compliance. So one is to understanding implementation of privacy much better through case studies, and other is to prepare yourself for such kind of compliance requirements. So that's basically course well.
Sure. I think there's two things. Basically, prepare yourself how to implement privacy, and the second is looking at organizations' privacy, how to build that program of privacy up. So I think that's great point. And also with the advent of, or we are hearing a lot about the Indian privacy law and looking at the DSCI's privacy framework as well as the DSCI's courses on DCPP, which are directed toward the Indian diaspora. Maybe I think one of the good things to start right now for people around. And so yeah, I think that's good to know. Do you also see, sir, like what should I think because we are kind of talking about a privacy program or something around learning. So how do you think, like being DSCI, being CU, being running all these initiatives at the top, right, and looking at the industry for so long, what do you think is an organization's privacy problem, or if organization wants to build a privacy program, right? So what are these things that you think that maybe they can do or think about right now, so that they're prepared for the
Yeah,
laws that
so
are upcoming and more prepared for privacy?
yeah, so some of the basic steps they should do is to really create that awareness about the privacy and sensitization about the privacy, which is one of the important steps because people try to mix up with the security and privacy is distinct from the security. That's one part. Second part is at least try to get good visibility about what is happening in the organization with respect to personal information, how you're collecting data, how you're processing it, whom you data sharing it. So getting that visibility is an important part. And then probably gradually try to put together some kind of function because the privacy regulatory requirement asks you to do a lot of organizational arrangement for the privacy, also technical measures that needs to be implemented for privacy. So setting up that function, trying to put together privacy policy, try to revitalize the processes for the privacy, try to look at how you manages access to the information, try to take a specific effort in terms of classification and securing data. So data-centric security approach is one of the important part of delivering to the privacy. So that those are some of the steps that we advocate as a DSA privacy.
So building a team, building the policies, finding what data an organization has,
Yeah.
and maybe training the team today, and also thinking that security is different, privacy is different, and thinking about documentation. I'm just trying to summarize,
Yeah.
that, and I think that will kind of help organizations be better prepared for tomorrow. So yeah, I think it's a great one. I would have kind of came to a similar conclusion. So also there is one question that all this industry, my clients are behind me and they are asking me. I'll probably kind of ask you that question. So in our upcoming Indian privacy law, there is this concept of safe countries.
Yeah.
And just in news, I heard that rather than safe countries, the concept will be unsafe countries where data maybe should not go or maybe restricted. So what is your thought on that, sir?
So the data residency is becoming important area from the regulatory perspective because you need to protect because if you are guaranteeing the right privacy right to the individual, it shouldn't be within the boundaries of a country. It should also be guaranteed when data is going out. Right. In that case, um, how do you make sure that privacy is ensured when data is going out of the country is the concern, and that concern gets reflected into such kind of policy instrument. And one of the idea is to One is localization, but probably we are going back from the idea of localization. We are allowing, we understand the digitization needs data transfer, data sharing as well. But then the last time the idea was a whitelisting of a country. Means that government will define this country probably safe in terms of transferring data, but that would have created a lot of problem for us, right? Because we would have to wait for the list, whitelisting by the government, and till the time we wouldn't have been complying with the requirements of the regulation. But blacklisting kind of a list, which would probably then allow us to continue the data that we have been transferring to other countries, and only we'll be worried about those countries which are notified as a country is not safe for the data transfer. In a way, it really solves some of the significant problem of industry with respect to data transfer. In globalized economy, this is a very important thing.
So basically, I think that there is this question, especially our current government, I see, a lot of discussions are happening on export. Like, you build a service here, you do something here, then go global, and then we get support or something. But just saying that the thought of India, today's India, 2023's India is export. So when we do export, there is an Indian privacy law that is coming. Then there is GDPR. Then there is CCPA. So what do you think, sir, that the new startups that are coming in who are planning to do export, right? So what are these privacy things that they should keep in mind? And should they be really concerned about this? Or should our industry as India be, upfront about this and do this first and then do so? What's your take on that, sir?
So, see, when we taking your capabilities to the other geography, right? And if that capability has to do anything to do with the personal information collection and processing, be it a direct relation to end consumer or be it through you're providing a capability to larger, bigger companies to use basically. So privacy is becoming very important in B2B and B2C context as well. So you have to prepare yourself to be very sensitive to the privacy requirement. So the solution and product that you're designing should have the privacy principles embedded into that. Secondly, you should have a good privacy program in the organization. You should be responding to privacy issues and problems very well. Because at the end of the day, the compliance requirement here is to protect the right of the individual. And most of the countries are coming up with the privacy regulation. And to comply with that, better you design and embed these principles now itself so that you are able to manage with this compliance requirement wherever you go in across the globe.
I think that's very well summarized for all of us, sir. And I think probably we will take this, and I hope people listening to our session are more enlightened, especially in the space of privacy. And also, if somebody is a startup, somebody is a founder, if they want to come over to DSCI and do, I think they will also be more informed today. Plus, people who are thinking about the December AISS summit, I think this is a session which kind of gave them information. DCPLA, we talked a lot about the certification in privacy. Then we talked about how do we kind of build the privacy program. Then we talked about how do we do export. So I hope, guys, I think this is a full pack session. That one shot and 5-6 enlightenments to you. Thank you, sir, for doing that, and we will meet all of our audience again in the next episode, and we will try to do better than this. So please, if you have any comments for us, you want to hear something about this, please feel free to drop your link. Also, Vinayak sir's LinkedIn is in this link. So if you want to reach out to him, you drop a LinkedIn to him. I think that's the best way to reach out to him. My name is Akarsh Singh, and I am signing off in today's session. And Vinayak sir, over to you for a short thank you note.
Thank you, Akash, for getting me. We believe we are able to at least throw some light in the area that we discussed. But any queries that you can reach out to Akash or reach out to me on the LinkedIn, we look forward to engage with you on subject of privacy.
Thank you, everyone, and we will see you soon.